Hey guys, Miss Epley back for another episode of Books, except for Belle's asleep over there on her bed. Oh, that's the wrong way. There she is. So, Belle's technically in this video, Books with Belle. We are going to read a book called The Girl with the Mind for Math, the story of Ray Montague. So this is one of those stories that we read sometimes that's about a real person, a real life girl that these things really happen to. She is not alive anymore. She just died in 2018. And so this is a picture of her right here. I'm guessing when she was older. And so we're going to read about what she did when she was younger to be so famous. So, The Girl with the Mind for Math. Alright, here we go. If there's something you want but it seems out of reach, here's a story for you, a great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name Montague. And you may notice that these words all rhyme. In a state we call Arkansas, on one winter day, a baby was welcomed, a girl they called Ray. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential. Her granddad was proud. He told her, "Work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd." Then something she'd cherish. When Ray was just 7, he took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. So she was born in Arkansas, which is just the state just west of us, right next to Tennessee. A real submarine. Her eyes opened wide. "Who made it?" she asked as they followed the guide. "Engineers," said the man, giving Ray's head a pat. "But my dear, you don't need to know about that." At the time the man's insult went over her head. "No, you can't," were the words that he had meant, but not said. So keep in mind what this person looks like. So we have a girl, and she has brown skin. And what we know from things we've already learned is that in this time, this was a while ago, back in probably, let's see, this was like the 40s. Yeah, this was the 40s, 1942. So this was even before Ruby Bridges went to school. So she was definitely not going to be treated the same as everyone else. Engineering, thought Ray, and her life's dream began. Except most people laughed when she told them her plan. "Stay strong," said her mom. "Use your brains, you'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind. Just because you're a girl and because you are black, don't let them or the state of your school hold you back." So she's got a dream, but all these people are telling her that that's, not realistic for her. You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. The black and white students were kept, we know this, separated. "That's wrong," you exclaim. "It was dismal, no fooling. And worst of all, white kids received better schooling." So like I said, this was before Ruby Bridges started integrating schools, so they were still segregated. So her school wasn't going to be as nice as the people with white skin as their school would be. But Ray studied hard. She had grit, taught herself. She was gifted in math and read books by the shelf. When time came for college, she knew what to choose. She'd learned to build boats, but she got some bad news. What do you think the bad news is going to be? "Engineering's not taught to black students," they said. Her heart hit the floor. "I'll take business instead." She'd learn what she could. She'd learn the rest later. The rules were unjust. but that school wouldn't break her. So because she was black, she wasn't able to go and learn what she wanted to learn. But she's not going to let that stop her. Let's see what she does. Ray, oh, I think I missed a page. Oh, she said she was going to take business school. So she'll go to a different type of college. Ray finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. I'm off to a place filled with history's greats, the capital city of all 50 states. Now, finding a job, it turned out that took time. She looked and she looked. Ray was not one to whine. Then it must have been fate, at least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. So she ended up finding a job in the same building that she wanted to work in, but she's typing instead of being an engineer. The Navy, that's right. Oh, but hold on all your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. Remember, Ray had to go to business school. So she watched as they worked and she learned every task, even studied computers by night at a class. So even though she got her college degree, she's still working and trying to learn so that she can be an engineer like she wants. Not giving up. We know that word that means not giving up is a P word, persistence. Then her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. So all the other engineers got sick. Ray did all of her work and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How? He exploded. From memory, said Ray. And with that, she got promoted. So all her work paid off. She was able to do everyone else's work and showed how smart she was to her boss. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people like him tried to make her feel small. Ray just held her head high, and she outworked them all. So no matter how many people were being mean to her, she still kept working hard. What's next? From the White House, there came a command. The president ordered a ship and make it grand. And quickly he added, well, that didn't fly. All those plans would take engineers months to supply. Here's the thing about that when designing a boat. There are thousands of measurements one needs to note. All those numbers take math, and that math takes some time. But Ray had been working on something sublime. So sublime is a word basically that means awesome. It's a very cool word. So she's been working on something that she's going to use now. She took a deep breath. I can solve this, she said. I've come up with a system to do it instead. I'll draw the plans faster, she told them. Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer, no sweat. How long do you think that might take? What's your guess? Would it take her a month, maybe weeks for success? How long do you think it's going to take? Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine, coffee, but Ray finished in hours, just over 18. So all that work, she had made a computer system to help her do all that math in only 18 hours. Her program, it worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed. The engineers, stunned. What does stun mean? Stunned means surprised. You did it, they cheered, and her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had in fact saved the day. I wonder if she's going to get the recognition she deserves now that she's saved the day. The end? No, not quite. When Ray's ship was unveiled, only white men could go, and Ray's invite not mailed. So that means when they built the ship that she designed, she couldn't even go see it. Say what? You heard right. No invite? Abhorrible. In fact, some might say it was downright deplorable. She couldn't even go and see her own ship be unveiled. Yet, Ray kept her cool, gave her best every day, and in times all her skills were applauded. Hooray! People learned of her work. Who's this Ray? They demanded. When they met her, they stared. They expected a man. So remember, not only was she black in this time, she's also a woman. Okay, and they were expecting to see a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many people could not believe that a woman of color did all she'd achieved. Some even thought Ray was a maid. Sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she'd say, "Bring me one too." All her humor and wit served her well through the years, as she battled the hard times with laughs and not tears. And that boss in the Navy who'd been so unkind made Ray the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow, her fame picked up steam, and finally, at last, she'd accomplished her dream. That title she'd worked for, an engineer, score, and now the world knows her feats. She is hidden no more. Here she is, Ray Montague, engineer. So now she's designing ships, and she gets that label on her name to show for all she worked for. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance, rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit, and like Ray, propel straight to success. So if you've got a dream and people are telling you you can't do it, as long as you're working hard and trying to figure out ways that you can do it, then you're going to be able to, just like Ray did. All right? But if you're negative, it's not going to happen. Ray stayed positive. She made jokes and she smiled. She never yelled at anyone. She just did her best to do what she knew how to do, and that got her to be where she needed to be. And that is how we should be handling things right now, because I know things are scary and we can't be together and we don't know what's going on. But just like Ray battled through the hard times, that's what we're going to do together. We're going to battle through the hard times. So I wanted to show you her timeline. So she was born in 1935. It's 1942 when she saw the submarine. So she was, 7 years old? She graduated high school in Arkansas, and let's see, she went to college at Arkansas University, a business degree from Arkansas Agricultural, Mechanical, and Normal College. Let's see, it was 1971. Here's the picture of her, I think, who's that? Completes world's first ship designed by computer in 18 hours and 26 minutes. So that was 1971. So she was not even 30 years old when she did that, which is pretty awesome. She was a young woman when she did that. In 2017, she was honored as one of the Navy's first hidden figures. Remember that book we read about those women, the African-American women who helped build the spaceships to take the astronauts into space? So she was a hidden figure as well, except for instead of space, she did submarines in the ocean. So very cool. That was Ray Montague, and she did die in 2018, so 2 years ago. She was 80-something. So very awesome. And this is a picture of her family, her and her family in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where she returned to live when she stopped working for the Navy. All right, bye guys. See you later for another book.